Wikidata. And so there's not really a great way to sort of like keep these things monitored and updated. And so this actually came about because somebody went and changed the, I was doing WikiLove's monument stuff with like this one project called Monumental. And somebody went and changed the label for the item for Iran, where I'm from, to Iraq. So it made all of the monuments look like they were in Iraq, which was really confusing. And that didn't get caught for a while. So, you know, if somebody just wants to have a Sparkle query that says, hey, here are all the countries in the world, you would see Iraq twice, right? Now, surely that's something that Wikidata should care about being accurate. Just a basic query like, what are all the countries in the world in English? And so, you know, we think that these dataset management tools are really important. Now, for the hackathon, all we want to do is change up things slightly so that when you're doing a dataset upload, we want to generate an ID for that particular upload and reference it in the comments. And there should be a README that talks about the basic reconciliation steps and like mapping steps that occurred from like the columns of the CSV to the names of the properties and that sort of thing, the provenance of the data, possibly even uploading the original CSV in .tab format to Commons, which is sort of like a hidden Easter egg feature. So basically like having a data set level view on Wikidata so that we can kind of start covering that space and maintaining and committing to Wikidata in that way. All right, that's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, open research.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sahar from University of Bonn. Looking back to the history of information exchange from Jiahu symbols 8,000 years ago from China and to papyruses, and then we had paper books, and currently we are exchanging through PDFs, not just PDF, but digital scientific publications. And if we look back, what has changed? Now we have open access, so basically marginal costs are reduced dramatically, but with regard to methods and the representation, we haven't changed too much. So researchers still have problems to find an overview of the events they want to attend or the papers they want to read, or a postdoc, for example, what CV I should have, or to be able to get good positions after that, or finding research project partners. So what we have around are not really giving the faces these kind of requirements. We have mailing lists. We are exchanging, for example, call for papers through mailing lists. We have Wikicite. They call themselves Wiki, but they're not a Wiki, actually. And the community is also providing their list of events or papers through their databases. So the problem is basically because of metadata integration, analysis, and management. So we have data locally or publicly through different sources. What we came up with the idea is to have a research knowledge graph. And for this, we are using Semantic Media Wiki, and we have openresearch.org, in which we store call for papers, and we gather call for papers from different sources as wiki pages, represent them as semantically and structured information. So this is basically by default a crowdsourcing system, but we also crawl data, and we also have other sources to get data. So this is a typical page that you see, call for paper, info box, and the text. And these are some of the queries with the visualization. For example, I want to see which conferences related to semantic web are coming up with regard to the calendar or the location, country. or overview of one event through its series, like event series. So we are going towards to give the answer to those researchers searching for such information. But of course, we need more data, more collaboration, and people to just add their data and contribute their events to our wiki. It's not just events, we also have wiki pages of person, papers, but currently we focus with events. That's why I just presented this. So feel free to request an account there and then join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Marilee.
Hello, I'm Marilee. I work in OCLC research. We are a group of about 35 people. We're composed of data scientists, researchers who do things like research using ethnographic methods, and then kind of community-facing people like myself. And I wanted to talk, this is not a technical talk, I wanted to share with you some research that was done by one of my colleagues, Lynn Conaway, along with colleagues in the UK. She's done a series of long-term studies of information-seeking behaviors for a number of different groups of people, but including undergraduates who are kind of in transitional mode. So early undergraduate going into graduate school. And one of the interesting findings of the ethnographic work is this area that they've identified as the learning black market. And these are research skills. It's students who are really uneasy with their research skills, but don't feel like they can give voice to the practices that they have. So one of the ways that this evidences itself is something that they call emergency collaboration. So your coursework or your paper is due the night before. You are contacting people on Facebook Messenger. This is a very common tactic. And the lines are pretty blurred for these students. They don't really know where collaboration ends and plagiarism begins. So they're getting into kind of this edgy territory, and they're not really sure how to talk about it with their professors or other instructors. The other area that I think is even more interesting for this group is an area of the learning black market that's called GWR, which stands for Google Wikipedia References. So what happens is students have been told over and over again that they should not use Wikipedia, that they should not use the commercial web or Wikipedia. And but they do use Wikipedia because it's extremely effective for them. But they want to keep it secret. So rather than referencing the Wikipedia article, which is where they actually get the information, they copy and paste the references into their paper without actually going to the references. So the references are sort of a surrogate for I visited the Wikipedia page. I'm copying and pasting the references into my paper. I was talking to a couple of library faculty about this, and they said it's such a common practice that instructors know about it because they don't bother to change the font. So it's the Wikipedia font in their reference section. Anyhow, I thought this was just an interesting thing to share with you. Another piece of research that was not done by us, but was done by some colleagues at Rutgers, trying to understand how students understood the references section within a Wikipedia article. Would they be using these sources to go on to get the sources, or could they click through? Would they do that? And the students, the overwhelming feeling among the students is that the first reference in the article was the most important reference, and so that was the one to pay attention to. So, just a little citation learning for you all this morning. Thank you.
Marilyn, could you post some links in the Etherpad to any published stuff about this?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Citation Theater.
Can we go last?
Yes, we can do theater last.
Great. Thank you.
Quick demo of reading and editing Wikipedia. Maxime. And then Andy's next.
Hi everyone. So I just wanted to make a quick demo of a tool I developed, which is called Wikidata SDK. You have the link somewhere in the Etherpad, but it's basically there on GitHub. And so you have it's a JavaScript tool, so you need to install Node.js and npm to install it. And once it's installed, you can do this kind of thing, if it's visible. Do you see well?
Yeah.
Okay. So it happened that we just created the property for subreddits 2 days ago. So I'm trying to connect all entities that have an associated subreddit in Wikidata. And so one, for example, that doesn't have its subreddit yet is Angola. So I have this command that is WD. So WD is the general program thing, and then we pass subcommands. So WD ID Angola is requesting find the Wikidata entity that has Angola as a title in my language in Wikipedia. And so it happened to be Q916, and we can check that by, well, give me a summary of this Q916. And it should work. Yay. Angola, country of Africa, and then some instance or subclass of things. So now we know it's it, and well, I checked the data source for this, which is Reddit itself, and so Angola is, you can see down, just Angola. So we could WD add claim Q, so it's Q916. The property is P300984, so for subreddits, and the value is Angola. And now it takes a bit of time because it requires to, so the program knows my password, username and password because it's local, so I trust it. And that's my code, so I trust it. And then, so it requires a token for edit, so it takes a bit of time, but it's convenient. And so it requests the password, and then it sends all the data. It does some value validation and tries to not mess too much. Like it tries to verify what it can to not mess too much with Wikidata. There are ways to also add directly references from this command also, that you can see in the documentation. And yeah, there are, you can see in the documentation all the, so read operation, write operation. So read operation we have, no, that's not there. Where is this? So the summary, label, description, claims, coordinate, oh yeah, that's a nice one. Data, so we were with this one. So when you quickly need all the data of an entity, and so from the command line it can be really convenient sometimes. Also, this one I really like is props. You have all the properties in your terminal, so you can actually rap on it and say, here are all the properties that are related to books, and that's really convenient. 1 minute? 1 minute. Okay. And and you can actually also request to have those properties with their associated type. That's also used internally to do input validation and things like that. Properties, Sparkle. Oh yeah, you can start Sparkle queries from the command line with this kind of things. So you write your Sparkle file, and then you WD Sparkle your file, and it gets the outputs like this. We can also do basic queries. So query, say, all the things that have property P50 and value Q535. And oh no, it's subject, no, object. Yeah. So those are all the IDs of the books of Victor Hugo. And yeah, that's all the kind of things you can read. And in write operation, you have set label, set description, add claim, remove claim, add reference, and more to come. Just ask. Basically, it comes on what are the needs of the moment. And this allows this kind of scripts, like very quickly just grab your data and throw it at Wikidata kindly. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Andy.
Thank you. How many of you have a Wikipedia article about you? I know some of you do. Oh, more than I thought. Good. Okay. How many of you have a Wikidata item about you? Lots of you. Good. Okay. I'm going to say something now. Listen very carefully. Hello. My name is Andy Mabbott. I was born in Birmingham, England, and I've been a Wikipedia editor since 2003. That didn't take me very long to say. It's quite simple. I run a project where we ask the people who have a Wikipedia article or a Wikidata item about them to record a sample of their spoken voice, only as long as that, for two important reasons. It helps people to understand what they sound like, so if they hear them on the radio, they know it's the same person, for instance, and it helps you to know how somebody pronounces their name. The pronunciation of a person's own name is the canonical pronunciation. So if you're going to meet that person and talk to them, or if you're going to introduce them at a conference, you need to get the pronunciation right, and that will help you. So I would like you, please, if you have a Wikipedia article or a Wikidata item about you, come and see me today. I have an audio recorder. We'll make a recording, or you can make your own at home and upload it to Wikimedia Commons. And if you have a colleague or a friend, or you meet somebody through the course of your work who has a Wikipedia article about them, then please make a recording in the same way. And that can be done in any language, not just in English. Just about 10 seconds of audio, but most importantly, saying their name. So thank you very much for that. I'm very sorry that I didn't mention citations, but this is an important project which I need your help with. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, Daniel Meechan, before theater.
Okay, so I'll do it without. It's a link is in the Etherpad. What I would like to do is actually cite Jupyter Notebooks, and I found a nice corpus for them on PubMed Central. So someone in January, February, I looked at PubMed Central just to find out how many Jupyter Notebooks are actually cited in those full texts. Turned out it's about 100. At that time, it's now about 130, so it's growing quickly. And those things, they are from scholarly articles about specific topics, and I would like them to cite in relevant Wikipedia articles. The problem is, I only want to cite them if they're actually reproducible, if they're actually running. And so at a previous hackathon, I went into that list and tried to rerun those Jupyter Notebooks. We came until 25, and one of them actually ran through without any problem. Some of those problems are trivial to resolve. It's basically just some missing dependency, and that wasn't stated in the requirements text. It was just stated in a human-readable fashion. Or they assumed the presence of a few gigabytes of a data set on your hard drive, which may not always be the case, and things like that. And so I would like to continue that investigation in order to become able to actually reference those Jupyter Notebooks, because they provide a different way to experience or to explore the data or those things that the Wikipedia statements depend upon. Thank you.
Finally, we have some theater.
No audio.
No idea.
We were exploring the depths of citation metadata ontologies.
As one does. Serious topic.
Paper 1.
Paper 2.
That ends the lightning talks. Let's give a big hand for everyone who gave a lightning talk today. Next, Cameron is going to lead us in hackathon planning.
Lead may be overstating the case. Okay. Is everyone full of energy? Everyone ready for the day? Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm getting some enthusiasm from the front, please. Okay, so hopefully you've spent some time looking at the ideas on the Etherpad. I know you've all been studying them assiduously since yesterday. We're now going to throw all of that completely out the window. So the way we'll do the pitches and the setup is really just get everyone who wants to do a pitch up to the front of the room. We'll just pass the microphone along. So a pitch consists of you saying, I would like to do X because Y. I need Z to make that happen. That clear? So if you've had a fabulous idea and you haven't had time to put it on the Etherpad, that's not a problem. If you're someone who's put like 6 or 7 ideas into the Etherpad and you want to do 6 or 7 pitches, you have to go to the end of the queue each time, Andy. So just so that we keep things moving. So is that making sense? We've got that. So there's about, oh, and sorry, the other thing is, so we took various of the recognizably hackable outputs from the sessions yesterday and we put them in the Etherpad. So, and again, if there was an idea that came out of yesterday and you see it there, then please pitch it. If there's no one to pitch something, then it doesn't happen, unless you go away and do it afterwards. So that's the key. So the object here is we've had a conversation, put down a set of ideas. If someone has written down, or there was an idea you really wanted to see happen and no one else is pitching it, then you are free to pitch it. So ideas can be stolen and reused. We're all about the reuse here. And let's go from there. And so then, essentially, set of pictures. If you're interested, when someone gives a pitch, just stick your hand up. You're not absolutely committed, having stuck your hand up. There may be another idea that comes along that you want to do afterwards, but stick your hand up so that the person who's pitching can get a sense of, if other people interested. And then we will just move directly to getting on with stuff. We have, I believe, the 4 rooms that we've had over the course of the last 3 days. They're all available. The Wi-Fi may be better in the foyer, but it seems to be up now and everything seems to be fine. So, and if you, we do have a couple of those data sets, particularly some of the big data sets, on a drive. So if you want to just come and grab me for, what have we got? We've got the XML dump, most recent, or actually the second most recent XML dump, SQL file, the event data stream of some sort, and a few. Sorry. The whole dump. Oh, the whole dump. So a whole dump of Crossref event data, and a few other things. And again, if you've got a data set and you want to share it, and you don't want to completely hog the Wi-Fi, then also, again, just come and see us, and we can distribute that to people who are interested. Any questions? Oh, sorry. And then the other thing is, coffee break is scheduled, so the coffee break has been requested for the time in which it is in the program, but you're not obliged to have it at that point. The next fixed points are 12 o'clock. We're going to stop you and force you, firstly, to have lunch, but we're going to do that by getting you to engage with the taking of the photo. That will happen at 12, so the organisers will circulate around and drag you bodily out of the rooms and take you to where the photo was taken. And then there'll be lunch, so we're going to make sure you eat. Food is very important. And then we go through the afternoon, and then essentially the report backs, the feedback, show and tell will be after the coffee break in the afternoon. Any questions? This is very much your time to do what you think is important. As with most of these things, basic rule that applies: if the place in which you are sitting and working is not productive for you, you are free at all times, no judgment, stand up, walk away, and go somewhere else. Otherwise, if you've got questions, issues throughout the day, come and grab us, and we'll do what we can. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will stay up. But it's traditional, obviously, with Wikicite, there's a requirement that it goes down at some point. So we just had to fit that in for the experience. Any questions? Everyone seems to be oh, no, Dario's got a question.
Just a quick note that we will give additional details on dinner later today. So Rachel is going to give plenty of instructions. Don't worry.
We'll feed you.
Don't worry, there's food. Food is covered. Okay, so can I get everyone who wants to pitch an idea, a hack, a description? They're not going to work there. Basically lined up to the podium. So one pitch at a time, and just to remind you, it is, you want to do X, the reason is Y, and you need support from people who can do Z. Okay? So line it this way. And you only get to do one at a time. And no talking if you end up outside the door. Okay.
So my pitch, my ID doesn't require Wi-Fi, so I hope Wi-Fi goes down so I get all the attention. What I would like to work on is a legal framework to share data in Wikidata. And the idea came across, so I'm in part of the GeneWiki project, and we have some issues with using data that's license with CC BY and specifically on some ontologies. So we would like to capture hierarchies in Wikidata, specifically on diseases. And this is the example we had. And you want to say this disease is a subclass of that disease. That relationship is captured in the disease ontology. You want to use to that, but you can't because it's CC BY. That is what we learned. And we convinced those already two ontologies, eco and disease ontology, to switch to CC0, but there are others who are not willing to switch to CC BY because of the concerns that they need the attribution to get their grants going. So I saw yesterday Open Citations. Open Citations is using Cyto. Cyto is CC BY. So I would really like to have some sort of brainstorm sessions or hack on getting something in place where you have a guideline on how to deal with license issues when importing data. I would like to know who wants to join. Great.
I'd like to work on the shape expression stubs that already exist related to different types of works and different types of citation. And if anybody wants to work on shape expressions, I'll be doing that.
Hi there, I would like to do X, where X is sharing the event data corpus with you and hopefully getting some interesting results. Because why? I've seen some people who are interested in the citations which are present in Wikipedia and people interested in bibliometrics and altmetrics as well, and there seems to be some interest. I need Z, which is people who have an interest in this stuff, who maybe want to do some research or enrich data sets to do with citations from Wikipedia to scholarly literature. And is anyone interested? Cool. And I have the data.
Hi, my name is Aaron Halfacre, and could I get Andrea and Min Chul just raise your hands real quick? So we're going to be working on extracting reference tags from the history of Wikipedia because we're really interested in who adds them, what content is in them, and how they persist in the wiki. I know that the library-based folks are super interested in how they can import this data. So we're really looking for people who are interested or who know the history of Wikipedia, can help us with processing old wiki stuff, and the people who might like to use this data so they can help us also critique our output formats and make sure that they can use it once we've actually extracted it. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Andrea. I would like to make a data model for books in Wikidata. We would love to, because we actually need it. And no further, I promise. Yeah, well, no. just a little. And yeah, we would love to have Wikidata experts, Wikidata editors in the room, like librarians and Wikipedia editors, because yeah, this interests all projects. Who is interested? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mark Graham, still with the Internet Archive. I would like Zytoid to be able to turn various Internet Archive URLs, for example, for books, TV news, web pages, 78s, etc., into well-formed citations without the help of Zotero, because it will then be easier for Wikipedia editors to cite resources from the Internet Archive on Wikipedia. And I need engineers to help implement this. Who's in? All right, thank you.
I would like to answer analytic queries on citation networks or any scholarly information, because I would like to know, for example, say whether females and males cite each other differently. So I would need people with good ideas for hypotheses we can examine with Sparkle queries in Wikidata. Anyone interested?
There's a kind of research thing merging as well as engineering. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to resolve one of the problems in terms of using citations in non-Wikidata wikis. So one of the complaints we get from Wikipedia editors is if we just call something from Wikidata using some enigmatic identifier, They just feel overwhelmed. They don't want this strange and non-transparent thing in there. And so the idea was to develop a JavaScript applet that actually displays what that identifier would pull from Wikidata, and then is ideally provides an editable environment so that people can prepare what they are actually putting in to their Wikipedia article. And for that, I need someone who understands JavaScript and maybe also a bit of the back end of Wikidata. Any volunteers? Thanks.
I would like a pink unicorn and world peace. But if I can't have that, I will settle for a tool that takes an identifier. I'm thinking specifically of an ORCID ID or a DOI, but somebody else has suggested this could work for VIAF or other things. You put that ID into the tool, and it checks to see whether it's already used on Wikidata. If it is, it doesn't do anything else other than warn you. If it's not used, it then either creates a Wikidata item, pulling in metadata from the relevant site, from ORCID or from the publisher if it's a DOI or from VIAF, or if it can't actually create a Wikidata item, it writes some quick statements commands so that you can then paste those into quick statements and create the item yourself. And the reason I would like that is it will save me having to do so much copying and pasting and typing and save my poor wrists.
It exists.
It exists?
Done.
It's news
Done.
to me. Okay, good.
Onto the pink unicorns.
Hi, I'm Rod. What is X? I want to work on citation data in Wikispecies. I want to be able to convert that into structured citations and link that to actual articles. So the goal is to link information about species to actual evidence and to help discover those articles. What I'm going to be doing is hacking in JavaScript. If you're interested in hacking with JavaScript, that would be useful. I also have a little GUI that goes with this. So if you want to show how crap my code is and break it by finding examples in Wikispecies that I can't deal with, that would be awesome as well. Thanks.
Hi, I'm working with Jake on the OA bots, which is a product to add open access links to existing citations in Wikipedia. And we have two ideas for this hackathon. The first one is to increase the number of sources we pull from. So if you have any API that you want us to use, it's a good time to do that. And also we want to increase the coverage of the citations we consider, so extending from just citation templates to also free-form text, so maybe using Bilbo, or if you have any other nice parser that you want to try, we're happy to be experimenting with that. And we need people to see if the results are good and experiment with the tool itself, so you don't need to code to help us.
Hi. So I would like Citoid and or the visual editor to give you a warning if you try to use maybe Wikipedia itself as a source on Wikipedia, or if you try to use a domain that's known to host a Wikipedia mirrored on Wikipedia as a source, and potentially in the future, some blacklisted domain that the community has agreed to not use. I know there are some cases of that happening. The reason I would like to do that is just that I've seen it happen, and it's kind of annoying to me how easy it is for that to happen. I will need probably support from, visual editor developers and Citoid developers. I believe I'm already sitting next to the right person, but if anyone else wants to kind of help me, answer questions and stuff like that, please do, and I'll be very thankful. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jody Schneider, and the thing that I'm planning on working on today is using Daniel's Zika data as a starting point for a curriculum around learning Sparkle. I think it's a great example to motivate. I'm coming at this as something I'll use with high school students in the fall, but I'd like it to be something that I collaborate with people on so that it can be an open curriculum that already is out there that might be used for other places, particularly GLAMs. So if you're interested in any of that, that would be great. So what kinds of skills? You don't necessarily need to use Sparkle. In fact, teaching people requires having some, what are the things that you need to know? You could know how to teach or how to develop a curriculum. You don't have to. You could know Sparkle. You don't have to. You could know something about Zika. One of the things is, what are the kinds of questions that you could ask about that data? What are the sort of interesting things that you could do? So that's probably the most important starting point. If anybody is interested, let me know.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. This is a spin-off of the books group. We're gonna sit near each other. But I want to model conference proceedings. So making model items, working on documentation, figuring out the properties. Why? Because conference proceedings are cool, of course. Come on. If we get done with that, we'll work on other non-book formats. I could use people who know about Wikidata properties, and then people who know about publication formats and citations deeply. Yeah! All right, thanks.
Hello, I'm Matteo. I would like to work on the visualization part of the Wikidata query service, both in terms of improve the visual model and the UX UI part. And why? Because we think that visualization could be a potential tools both for researcher and also for the more generic user, and so could be used as a tool to search on a specific topic, like for example citation or other stuff like this. And also it's important to be used in when you tell a story on data, so in a more narrative way. So what we need are people who work maybe on the Wikidata query service in terms of UI UX, but also people expert in SparkQL. And we already linked with Jonas from Wikidata Berlin, but if anyone wants to join, we are here. Thank you.
Hi, I still want a pink unicorn. Building on what I said previously, I would like to have some tool that will create Wikidata items for all the things I have in my Zotero library. So as before, it might simply output quick statements, commands, or it might actually use the API and create the item. Does it already exist? No, good, it doesn't exist. Thank you.
None that I know of.
Hello there. Yeah, funnily enough, we're building kind of a tool to create items and lots of statements, sort of focusing on medium-sized data, like a sort of Wikidata hand truck. Lots of structured data with, as sort of data set management, metadata like already on Wikidata, I guess. Anyways, it's Python, not JavaScript, so it'll be a lot more fun to work on. So yeah, if you're interested in working on that, there's that. Also, a couple of other quick ones. Hopefully we're going to tap Phoebe and we're going to work on better data import hub documentation, and then also maybe some open refined stuff and also some hashtag stuff. So if you're interested in any of those, you know where to find us. It's back of the room. All right, thank you.
This is actually a follow-up on the suggestion, because there were at least 2 people interested in reconciliation not to items but to properties. So if you have maybe the free text and you want to reconcile a verb to an actual property to see what relation models on Wikidata, that's something that the reconciliation interface doesn't support yet, but it shouldn't be too hard to do it. So if you're interested and have your thoughts about how we should do it, feel free to join.
Okay, I'm basically still in the same thing I just proposed, but I'll now zoom into the Wikidata backend. So what that template Q or template DOI or whatever will do with those opaque identifiers, it will call something that understands Wikidata. And for that, we have a number of tools already. The most visible one is probably module site. There is also module Wikidata, which is often used by such module site. I just want to get that with more functionality. So for instance, right now we have the P50 for author on Wikidata and the P2093 for author name and string. And all of these tools that pull the citation data from Wikidata into any Wikipedia page, they're not aware of those too, and certainly not of bringing them in the right order and things like that. And so that's kind of the Wikidata backend to the JavaScript tool I mentioned before.
I'm working on how to extract author email contact information and affiliation at the time of publication for scientific articles. Why? Because for many authors, this information helps you get free access to things that are otherwise held back under a license. And I need help from someone who's worked on the metadata and the schemas for some of the scientific article or other scholarly article data types on Wikidata. Anyone? Great, thank you.
Hello, I'm Marilee. I'm still with OCLC Research. We are the producers of VIAF.org. A lot of you know and love and sometimes dislike VIAF. As with many name authority sources, there's a number of errors, multiple people identified in multiple ways for VIAF. And because we're taking and merging national authority files and other authority files, which are aggregated from individual catalog contributors, it's very hard to push corrections back down the stream. But what I would love are your ideas for how we can harness Wikidata to help identify and merge separate VFIDs that are really for one person. And what I'd suggest is that we just maybe get together at lunch, and if I can get your contact information and we can get started on a conversation, maybe we can do some phone calls, and I can help to funnel information back to the VF team at OCLC. I would love to do that on behalf of the community.
Okay, so this is a admittedly half-baked idea, but it came up yesterday. So it would be nice if there was a sort of persistent Python service running on free tier or Amazon thing that makes routine calls to Crossref, checks against Wikicite or Wikidata to see if those records are in Wikidata. If they're not, uses one of these import tools to just write it into Wikidata. If they are in Wikidata, checks to see if there's differences between the two records, and to see if those differences occurred because of an edit in Wikidata, and then somehow feeds that data back to Crossref for maybe correcting errors in there. This seems imminently doable, like in a day. Is anybody interested in doing? Oh yeah, what I need is somebody to do that, because I can't do any of it. Anybody interested? There's some, okay.
There's some hand waving. Yeah. I'm still looking for my unicorn. I have a template in the English Wikipedia called CiteQ, which wraps an ordinary citation template and calls data from Wikidata. It works for some things. It's very rough and ready. We need to make it work for more use cases, so we need to make it work for websites and newspaper articles and citing tweets and things like that. It's currently done mostly in template code, which I can do, but it needs to be done in Lua, which I can't because I'm not a coder. I make a very good client that pays lousy, but I'm really easygoing. So I need somebody to help with that. But before we actually do the Lua coding, we need to look at the use cases and plot out how it's going to work, decide whether we need one template or several. So Wikipedia editors and or Lua coders, please. Anybody? Okay, thanks.
Hello. There is currently an average of 3.7 ideas per participant, so that's awesome. All right, so just to bump up the mean, I'd love to work on a compelling visualization of the Zika corpus. And the reason is that I think this is one of the most powerful examples of the value proposition of Wikicite, connecting sources to knowledge claims and letting experts and the public interact with them. Why I want to do this is also that it's extremely hard and painful to explain the value proposition of something via a set of Sparkle queries, despite Daniel's hard attempts to do so. What I need for that is basically half of the time of all the database people in the room. This is not a request for volunteers. Input from someone to be able to work on Zika, Andra, Daniel, to understand which statements with properties would be interesting, which statements are missing that we should be considered here, and sketch some ideas for visualization. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Philip. I would like to work on the Sotira translators because they were actually mentioned a lot here, and I guess the connection between Situate is quite clear, but also in Wikidata and some other Wikimedian sites you can reuse that.
So I can cover much of the Zotero translator part, but I need kind of use cases or people telling me what's important, what to look at. And also maybe doing the other way would be another idea, like Wikidata, Zotero translators, that we can actually save the things in the reference management system and reuse it from there. So there I certainly would also need someone who can tell me how to extract the information best.
Hi, I'm Jake. I want to work on Citation Hunt, which is the incredible tool that empowers people to add a reference in an easy kind of micro contribution interface. It powers one lib, one ref, and it has to be adapted per language. So I want to work with folks like Enrique, who just adapted it for Portugal, to develop some technical documentation about how to do that adaptation. So any technical writers or people who developed Citation Hunt might want to be interested in that. Any hands? Thank you.
Hi, I want to work on data modeling, and I don't need volunteers. There's already two groups who want to do this. There was also yesterday, and in the list of hackathon ideas, there's at least two more. Making a model for special collections like maps, and cross-checking what is already captured against existing Wikipedia templates. And I think this is such a big task and also such a foundational task that we need someone who can organize it, to start it up here, but to have the organization to continue it offline. Because right now I think there is a number of disparate resources, a number of lists of things that one can use in citations here, there, everywhere. We need to somehow put them together and make a good roadmap of what to do. And I think I'll start by trying to find all of the citation templates. Yesterday I said that I've seen people citing ships from the Lloyd's Register, so maybe a data model for citing ships is my... It just seems a very important task. Before we have applications, we need to have a lot of data, but before we dump the data, we need to organize it.
Hello again. This will be my last one, you'll be glad to know. This one probably won't take very long for somebody who knows how to do it. I'm looking for some tool to replicate a page that I currently have on the Tools Lab that Magnus kindly built for me over a year ago, which is a list of all the people who you would expect should have an ORCID ID but don't. So basically living scientists and researchers and humanities academics. And next to their name is a pre-formatted search link, which again saves me lots of copying and pasting and typing. And I would like that to be built or rebuilt on a weekly or monthly basis. So I suspect the best way to do that is going to be Listeria bot, so I need someone to help me write a query for that and to build in the search links. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Raffaele. I would like to think a model to describe public web archives on Wikidata. There are not so many public web archives on the world. And I would like to propose some new properties that, given a URL, you can get easily all available previous archived version.
My name is James Hare. I am working on a data service that, given one identifier, gives you all the other identifiers for that thing. I'm already working on it, so I don't need volunteers so much as if you have any insights on best practices or data sources I should consider, do let me know. I'm already factoring in PubMed, PubMed Central, Crossref. So anything else you have in mind, that would be fine. Also, this isn't strictly identifiers for works, so ORCID could, in theory, be a part of this too. Thank you.
Okay, so this is riffing a bit on what Dario just proposed. So one of the thanks. So one of the things that we need, obviously, is to generate a report of this event to give to the funders. But I think another thing that could be quite compelling is if we could generate some kind of perspective piece that we could submit to Science or Nature or Scientific American in sort of conjunction with I4OC around the value of something like this for the broader public or the broader scientific community. So what I might do for the next few hours is just take all the Etherpads and start to collate them into some kind of report, which can double as something to go to the funders, but also start to be the outline of some actual kind of like manifesto piece, which is very easy to get published in like a place like Atlantic or Chronicle or Scientific American. A little harder to get into science, but maybe there's something there. So I might just start to do that. If there's anybody who wants to work on that with me, it's kind of like tedious, but it could be really useful. Okay, cool.
Hey guys, I just had an idea 30 seconds ago. Actually, no, it's in my head since quite a while. There's a page called Academic Family Tree. It's basically mapping the relationships between scientists. So I'm supervised by this guy and I'm supervising that guy. And it's basically split down into different fields, and it's basically a platform for these different fields. And some years ago, I started the one for computational biology, and it's basically running like this since then. And I think this is actually something that should be mapped to Wikidata. And I've no clue how to do this, and I think the legal issue is again the most important one. Maybe we can do some brainstorming regarding that. So please contact me.
On this.
Oh, brilliant.
I have the entire neuro tree.
Brilliant. Let's sit together.
and the entire ProQuest dissertation database.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, we should sit together. Thank you.
Okay, so are we 3.7, 3.8 ideas per person, 3.9? Yeah. So you're full of ideas. And I know you've all completely memorized everything that's just gone past you. Yeah, absolutely. So just to sort of reinforce that, I think there's a couple of things there. So I'm just going to ask people to sort of, again, stick their hands up as in a sort of very loosely created categorization. The ontologists can just cringe at this point. So you recognize the people working on similar things. So there was a set of people who wanted to find ways to put things into Wikidata. Hands up, broadly speaking. There were a set of people who wanted to find different ways and different versions, approaches, visualizations for getting things out of Wikidata. Hands going up. Okay, and then there were a bunch of people interested in collecting data and structuring it in different ways. Yep, just look around, just look at the people who are sort of self-identifying. There were a group of people who were, broadly speaking, it was a bunch of different things, but thinking about use cases, gathering sets of identifiers, sets of systems, maybe a bit of documentation, those kinds of things. Yep, so I'm not sure why Darius holding a yellow card, but it's probably got something to do with further. And there are probably some other things that I've forgotten. So, yeah, Daniel, always. Daniel and Andy will be in the category of things I've forgotten. That's fine. Pink unicorns. Who wants pink unicorns? There's one. Esther. Yeah. So yes. So, I'm not going to ask everyone who pitched something to put it down in the Etherpad to expand the list. What I'm going to ask is, and we'll do this as we sort of start moving around to gather you for the photo, is at about the point we're going to lunch, where there's something that's happened, we'll do a little bit of reformatting of the Etherpad and ask you to start making notes on what you've done or where things are going or what the issues are. If you've got a request for some sort of support or expertise, then put that in the Etherpad or send it to the Twitter hashtag or whatever. But again, try and in those groups, to some extent, self-organize across the set of rooms we have so that you can reach out to other people in the groups. Again, emphasize, if you don't feel like where you're sitting is a useful thing for you to be doing, you are always free to move and to try something else. And obviously you're not restricted to those ideas. I'll say any questions and then I'll give the microphone to Daria.
So I think we'll be getting some giant Post-its, depending on whether or not Rachel can find some, so that we can advertise maybe on the door of each room which sessions are running, so other people know exactly what's going on and allow them to join. So we're working on that, but hopefully it's going to happen.
Yeah, actually, so that's a good point. So if you're working on something, then either grab one of these if we can find them, and I think there's a few around, or just grab a piece of A4 paper and write it in big letters and slap it on the table so that someone walking around can see what you're doing without disturbing you in the flow. And then if they're interested, they can come in. Any questions? Andy?
Not a question, an observation. Somebody said one of my ideas existed. People think other ideas already exist. Can they please add links or notes to these?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, so if you think one of those things, ideally you've already done this because you're that kind of organised community. But yes, if it provide links to things that are close to or seem to be related, that would be great. Any other questions? We have the 4 rooms. Coffee will be, or the pastries will be out at around 10:30, I think it is, or 10:30 or 10:45, one of those. But use the time as you see fit. The space is here. The Wi-Fi seems to be working at the moment. So if there's no other issues, no questions, then we will come around and gather you at 12 o'clock. Please be somewhere where we can find you, which is to say within these 4 rooms or in the foyer at 12 o'clock so we can take a photo.
Yeah, and we're meeting in the barbecue area.
Oh, and the photo will be taken. We'll be meeting in the barbecue area if we somehow manage to miss you. Questions, observations, thumbs up, excellent, go hack, have fun. We'll catch you at lunch.
Oh, there's power strips. Just a reminder, if you need power strips, there are power strips right here. Power strips in this bin. So if you need to set up power strips in your room, grab one and go.
Like completely forgotten everything.
I know, it's a lot of stuff.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
Are you going to edit and make these Saito performances standalone videos? It's going to go viral.
We could.
And it's going to be the best.